Hey, what's up? How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. Oh, shh.
Sorry.
Well,
Sorry, everybody.
it's still early yet. We're still waiting for people to come into the room. Oh,
Yay.
oh my God. Oh, you know what?
What's
While we're
up?
waiting, I'm just going to drop the link just in case. Copy. Da, 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 da. Chat. There's Black Lavender and Maria. Hello.
Oh my goodness. So I guess we can get started. I have to admit, these three shows were good this week. I can't lie. I'm not gonna front. As
Yes.
much as we brag on them because it's fun and it's true, these were really, really, really good. So I'm ready to
They
dive
were.
in.
They were. So you said you wanted to start with 90
90
Day the
Day,
Other Way.
right?
Okay. Fire your first shots, my friend.
For me, it's Jenny and Sumit. I was like, okay. I mean, like the fact that she can't really see that he's kind of stringing her along
Mm-hmm.
is like beyond me. I'm like, man, you're 62. You should be able to see past this. I'm so confused. I'm like,
Oh,
what's wrong with you?
we
Like,
got
no,
Sad Star. She just popped up, and you know this is her show. So let me just
yeah.
add her in. Hi, Sad Star Podcast.
Hey,
Hi, Debbie. Hi, Jamal.
hey,
How
Sad
are you
Star.
guys?
Hi. Good,
Good.
good.
I do want to say one thing before you go
Yeah.
start, Sad Star. Okay,
Mm.
was it? Tell me the truth. Was it me? But the
Mm.
very end, was it me or did Jenny's cry just come out of nowhere? Like
Who?
Jenny's cry when she started crying at the end. It's like he said something. There was a pause, and she just started busting out crying. I'm like, that seemed kind of like a delay there, ma'am. Like you missed your cue.
Yeah, it was like so fake, and it's like, why does she have to cry every single time something real and honest like every time something that doesn't go her way happens, or every time the parents are involved in something, she just bursts out and she's like, it's them, they're causing this to me. Like, it's your parents,
Mhm.
Sumit. Why don't
Mhm.
your parents want us to be happy, Sumit? It's either me or your parents, Sumit.
And
And like,
that's where she goes wrong. You can't do an ultimatum like that.
No, not
that's
at all.
true. Mm-hmm.
And she's talking about like, oh my god, I don't understand why this is happening. Well, ma'am, you're fooling around with her son in their house. You stayed for 4 months. It was supposed to have been 2 weeks, and you never apologized. I wouldn't like you either.
Yeah, the fact like, doesn't she feel like, I thought that as a lady of her age, like, she would understand how the parents would feel, like, especially that her son sneaked at night, like, from his room to her bedroom, and he got caught, and like, have a little bit of shame, ma'am. Like, this is not becoming of someone of your age. Honestly, it's not. And
But
she's just out there. Yeah.
Sad Star, if she doesn't understand that she played a significant role in breaking up this man's marriage, why do you think she'd understand anything else? She's just interested in what's in it for her. She's just being selfish.
She is selfish,
Mhm.
and it's really horrible. I listen, I At the beginning of everything, I really rooted for Sumit and Jenny. I want to say this, I really rooted for them, and I also rooted for Jihoon and Devin. But
Yep.
like, after the whole story of Jenny, and like, Sumit already has a wife, and then I remember I had this conversation with someone in some comments. I don't remember which video, but we were going on and forth about what actually happens to Sumit's wife. Do you
Mhm.
know? Nobody have thought of that. What happened to his wife that he got divorced from? That
Isn't
lady,
but
that lady is shunned.
that's
Go
what I
on.
was going to ask you if they still do that. Like, because now she has a stigma on her that her husband didn't want her. She's kind of like a castaway. And like,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be very difficult for her to find another husband and have like a family or something like that. And I didn't know if that was still the way.
Yeah, so I actually asked a friend of mine a few hours ago because I was watching the Jenny and Sumit video and I asked her because she's Indian and she
Mhm.
told me she confirmed that yes, in some parts of India, this stigma still happens. So the way they're looking at Sumit's ex-wife right now is that, oh, you were married to a man, yet during your marriage he was already cheating on you with a lady from another country, and that lady is like 3 times your age. So all the fault, like you're lacking in something, you're not giving him something, so he's gotta take it from somewhere else. So that they will put the fault on her and not on Samit. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Which is really sad. I feel bad for the lady. Someone needs to give her a hug back in India, I swear.
Well, hopefully they'll see the show and realize it's not her fault, and they'll cut her a break or something.
But
Let's
do
hope.
they watch the show?
I don't
Are
know.
we
I'm just being
exactly?
hopeful. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if she got the short end of the stick, I it's disappointing that it still is that way, but I'm hoping a miracle happens and she can find a true love and have a family and just move past this completely.
But the problem is
Yeah.
that I agree, David, but the problem is this. The parents admitted that the wife was problematic and they did not foresee that happening. So with her divorce, I'm sure that's gonna come out in some way. So it may not be as easy for her if she was as problematic as she was, because the parents are like, you know what? We made a mistake. We didn't know she was like that. I'm like, oh, okay. And people need to remember that Sumit said he never wanted to get married. He did not want children. So he was forced into that marriage and he was so unhappy. And he got with Jenny because he's like, okay, she gonna break me off and she's older, so I don't have to worry about kids.
But question,
Mhm.
they said that the ex-wife was problematic. Did they mention problematic in what way?
No, they just said we made a mistake. We didn't know she was like that. So that
Mm-hmm.
means in some way she was problematic to them in some sort of way with the, because I think based on my experience, parents tend not to really tell their children that they've made a mistake. So for them to say like we forced you into this marriage with a woman who was not the best kind of gives me some sort of idea she may be problematic. I'm just going off what I see and putting the pieces together.
Mm-hmm. I want to add something. I think the way that you mean problematic, like I remember there was this moment, and there's also like few things that I know culturally about India. I think problematic as in the wife was humiliated. Like during her marriage with Samit, Samit was already with Jenny, yet he was legally married. Any woman would feel disrespected, especially, and any woman with a big family, big traditional like family that's really heavy on culture from those areas would definitely be like that disrespect. It's like be to her family like via her. Do you know what I mean? Am I making sense? Because my English is
No,
bad.
I get. I have a
So it's
question.
like,
Go ahead.
yeah, go on.
So
No, you.
along your thought. So do theoretically could the
Mm-hmm.
wife have known about Jenny and couldn't deal with this, so she kind of started to act out in some ways, and then that would make the think that the parent make his parents think that she's being a troublemaker or problematic. Because I don't.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay.
Absolutely.
I just want to be fair to the wife as well. Well, maybe she found out or she knew, and she dealt with it as long as she could before she started acting out. And then the parents were like, "Oh, well, you're the wife. You should just deal with it." And she was just like, "No, I'm not." And she started just giving attitude.
Hey,
I
Miss
believe.
Pearl. Sorry about that sad story. I
Hi.
just want
It's
to give Miss
okay.
Pearl a chance to
Hi,
chime in and see
Pearl.
if she has an opinion
Hi,
here.
Fat Star. Oh, yes, my favorite topic, Jenny and Sumit. Yeah, actually, Jamal, I caught that with you as well, where Sumit's parents were saying that they didn't know she would turn out that way. And I remember asking this question somewhere, like, I really want to know. Like, I'm not interested in Jenny and Sumit's love story. I want to know what his wife supposedly did.
hmm
I want to know why Sumit tried to kill himself. I want to know that other stuff. That stuff is more interesting. I'm tired of like Jenny's crying. That crying was so cringy, honestly. And I'm just like you, Sad Star, because when it started, we thought that Jenny was this sweet, innocent woman
Mm-hmm.
who gave up her 401k to go find love.
That was a problem. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, but I'm not. I mean, interrupt, but I was just mad. I was mad at her for that alone.
Y'all behaving like there was a lot of money in that 401k. It was $6,000.
But that's $6,000 she needed. I'm sorry. She is on her daughter's couch.
She was
She could have
broke.
used that $6,000. I'm saying.
to be fair, the $6,000 has gone further in India than it ever would have gone in America anyway.
True.
She's living
True.
it out.
Yeah, that is
That's
very,
true.
very true. I
Yeah.
mean, go ahead, Pearl. Keep going.
Yeah, no, so I thought that she was, I was rooting for Jenny as well until I found out this whole backstory about her living with them for 4 months and sneaking around. So I completely agree with you, Sad Star, because that's so disrespectful. And for a woman of that, maturity, I can understand if it's a bunch of teenagers, but you're a grown ass woman. Like, you know that this is not disrespectful. You wouldn't want that in your own house. So why are you doing it in someone else's house? So it just left a bitter taste in my mouth. So I don't really trust anything Jenny has to say.
I agree. I could deal with the catfish part. I could overlook y'all trying to get on catfish. I'm cool with that. But I'm sorry. At that age, I'm not gonna draw my Social Security early to go to India with someone who's unemployed. I'm sorry. You can find unemployed in America, and I will stick by that. We have unemployed men in America. You could have found one here. You had to go across the pond. But I said this before. I think that they both could have a little bit of fame. This could have turned into something more for them. Because if you go on catfish, you're trying to be on TV somehow, some way, somehow. So, okay, we didn't get on catfish. We got on TLC. So we need to make this work. So I think that's where they really were.
Well, they stretched it out to 2 seasons, so let's see how far they would stretch it out to.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how much they get paid, but this is adding. I'm sure this is paying for their accommodation in India, decent, and their upkeep. So I'm sure they will keep the story going on.
Even if Jenny's getting $1,000 an episode, that she's rich in India.
Yeah, exactly.
It can go a long way. But that's why I don't understand why she told him to stop working, why they're living in a less desirable neighborhood than they were before. She's still getting the same salary and probably even more because it's her second season. So they might have given her an increase to $1,200 an episode.
So I can explain about them living farther out. Based on what I understood, they moved out there because it was cheap. And he wasn't working, so that's the reason why they moved farther out. It was purely financial.
What was his job? Wasn't he just catfishing people?
He was working at the call center.
Yeah, customer service at a call center. Because that's how I met her.
So I don't understand it because even Angela asked Michael to stop working. What's with these women asking these little? Is it an age thing or what? Why are you telling these men?
With Angela, I think she didn't trust Michael because he had the girl with the fellatio incident, and then she didn't want him with his friends because that would be even more female. That was pure jealousy, in my opinion, with regards to Angela and Michael.
No, she said that though. No, but she
admitted it. Yeah, she admitted it. But I don't understand with Sumit. He could have stayed working.
Yeah, with no issue. I mean, I think at this point, I'm mad at her because what she's gonna do next week, she could have done from the beginning of the season. So yeah, I was really upset with that.
Do you really think she's gonna go?
I mean, if she does, I'm like, you done wasted 20 episodes, 40 hours of my life for you to do what you could have done at the beginning. I mean, no.
She's got to get that check.
If she leaves, I'm boycotting Jen. We need to cancel her.
Maybe she actually did that. Maybe she'll do that. She just wasted our time, and all she's gonna do is go back to her daughter's couch, and that's it. Who
Maybe
knows?
she's catfishing Sumit.
No way. She can't be. She can't be catfishing him. There's nothing to catfish. He knew her from the beginning. He knew what he was getting himself into. They're trying to like. That's the most trifling Romeo and Juliet twist I've ever seen. Indian Romeo, old ass Juliet. Honestly, like it's a mess.
Oh my goodness.
It's a mess right here.
Oh.
Swear.
God.
Hey, welcome into the room,
Hi,
Queen
Queen.
Cascade.
Hi, Queen.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody in
What's
the chat.
up?
I caught part of what I've come in a little late, so I caught part of what Sad Star podcast was saying.
Yeah, yeah.
So I apologize if I repeat anything that anybody else is saying.
It's
But
okay.
when the family are saying about the fact that she's I haven't watched this episode. I've watched parts, I've watched clips and stuff like that. But in the work that I've done previously within the Asian communities, I can see the good sides and I can see the bad sides to the culture. And part of, although I'm Jamaican British, there's Asian within my family. So for me, when the family are talking about the wife being problematic, people forget about the fact of arranged marriage. You don't know this person a lot of the time. The families have sat down and had this whole conversation, arranged the dowry and everything else. You're essentially dating within your relationship. Now, from my perspective, if I was getting married to a guy that I didn't know, I'm expected to give my virginity up to a guy that I didn't know, expected to leave part of my culture behind, and she's essentially moving into the parents' home, that can be a lot for somebody because you're essentially casting off your old life and expected to take on his traditions, his life, his, everything moving forward. Meanwhile, your husband is having catfishing a woman while he's supposed to be working in a call center and doing his job, which has later led to an affair. And this woman is living in your house with your family, which you're trying to get used to all your circumstances, change of life. And bear in mind, she's going to be looking after the parents as well. Her responsibility isn't just her husband, it's to the family. That can be a lot for a lot of young ladies to deal with. So I feel it to a certain extent for the wife. Usually from some of the arranged marriages that I've seen in the past, it's a case of when some of them have gone to court, sometimes the courts say, they're going to put in relook at cases in 2 years. And I understand why they say that, because within their thinking, it's about the fact of, these people are strangers and they need time to get to know each other and they need time to grow in love instead of falling in love. So what they may deem as problematic may not be anything essential. Well, I'm not saying trying to underestimate their feelings and things like that. But I feel like it's a big task for some of these young ladies to take on. And I've more so seen the domestic violence side of it, where girls have been abused and where girls have been mistreated. So I can understand why it might seem problematic to them. And then she's expected to kind of just carry on behaving like a good wife while essentially her husband is out there having an affair, not holding down his responsibility. And part of the reason he moved out to the countryside was because of the fact of the family and the community. There's going to be more, what's the word that I'm looking for, in terms of the community frowning on what's happened if he keeps Jenny within, the circumstances of where everybody knows all the family and what's gone on. And also it's about her safety, because I've seen situations where people have traveled miles across India to go and attack people for similar situations. Jenny's quite lucky right now. She doesn't realize how lucky she is, because I've seen situations escalate where women and men have been literally had their lives ended because of this. And because they've got the TV cameras out there, they're dealing with her a different way. She doesn't know how lucky she actually is. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the same thing applies to Brittany and Yazan as well. I think when Brittany was walking through the market with her boobs out, basically, I was like, the only reason why she probably wasn't stoned was because she she had a whole crew with her, stuff like that. So the cameras are actually their protection, but when the cameras go, I wonder what's going to happen to them, really.
Exactly.
Can I chime in for a second about Brittany and Yazan? Because I already had this conversation with Jamal on our weekly podcast that we didn't have this week. Sorry, Jamal. So
No
what had
problem.
happened was people from that area, because I'm Arab and I know Arab countries, people from that area, it's a little bit like the ghetto. So they're not used to cameras or places like that. So the only thing that can trigger people there, but not in a bad way, it can like trigger their curiosity, like they want to see what's going on, is the cameras. Anything about Britney's outfit, as an Arab myself, I deem that appropriate. It wasn't horrible. Only the jacket was ugly as hell. Everything else was all right. Like I wouldn't like if my grandma saw Britney walking down the street, she would not look at Britney twice.
So is that
Period.
like, would you say that within the Middle East,
Mm-hmm.
different countries will look at you differently? Because my friend's husband works in Saudi Arabia, for example, and she went to Saudi
Mm-hmm.
Arabia with him, and she had like a long dress and everything, but she kept being stared at because her hair was exposed, things like that. So does it vary from one country to the other?
Of course, it varies. I'm gonna explain to you. So, for example, Jordan has two separate parts. You saw the ghetto, you saw the part where Yazan lives, and then there is another part of Jordan that no one sees, which I saw an Arab see. It's like Paris. It's literally the Arab Paris. It's fancy. Everyone there is like really high class, wearing diamonds and Cartier and like sipping on champagne and like going shopping, Chanel, Gucci, everything. That's Jordan. And then there is Dubai. Do you know Dubai in United Arab Emirates? I've lived there for 16 years. You would think that people there are always covering up their bodies and their faces. But if you look at it really closely and you live there, like there's literally like LA who's Los Angeles? We've already got like more California girls in Dubai than in Los Angeles itself. Bikinis everywhere, big booties everywhere, crop tops everywhere, like Insta girls are everywhere, literally. And then there is Tunisia, which is North African, and you would think that North African countries are a little bit more religious or a little bit more strict. But I'm gonna give you an example. For example, Algeria and Libya are a little bit strict than other countries, but not like Saudi Arabia. And then we have Tunisia, which is literally like it's a party country. Everyone there is partying. Everyone that I know from there are literally either drunk or high all the time.
So,
Literally
Saskar,
all the time.
do you think with the higher influx of tourism lowers the restrictions?
No, not exactly, because I tourists don't affect everything like that. Like people just do whatever they want. Because listen, tourists have places where they can hang out and do their tourist action. Like they can drink, they can party. We have things to accommodate the tourists. But for example, when I was telling about Tunisia is a little bit more open-minded because they were already colonized by the French. You know, the French people, they're very open-minded about everything. It's like France. Tunisia is exactly like France. Even their first language is French. So at this point, it's not even an Arabic country. Do you get what I mean? So from each country to another, to each country, it varies. Do you know? If to even Oman, it's like right below Saudi Arabia, very close-minded. Very, very close-minded. There's arranged marriages everywhere to everyone's cousins. And I don't think they've got to the point where they do tests nowadays because they have tests to stop cousin marriages. Do you get what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And then there's Saudi Arabia, which is actually making a little bit of progress. They are making a bit like they're allowing women to drive now.
Yeah, I saw that recently. Well, not recently, but a while ago.
Now
Yeah, it was like
Yazan and
last year.
Brittany.
Mhm.
Oh,
No, go ahead.
Yazan and Brittany is a whole mess though. Like, where do I even begin? Like, he's a hypocrite. First of all, he's literally a religious hypocrite. He says he wants to be religious and he can't like sleep with her in the same room and the same house. And I'm
Do
just
you
like, you're
believe
already
that?
banging her. You're already banging her. The first time he met her in the airport, he was high. I know a person when they're high because I've been high before, and I know a person when they're high. That's the high eyes that he had right there. I think he's always high at this point. If he's not
Yeah.
angry, then he's high. Yeah.
Okay, I
And
have a
they've
question.
already.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Was there something wrong? Was there something wrong with Brittany's eyebrows on this episode? Or is it just me?
It was all
It's
her makeup.
always wrong.
Okay, perfect.
Always
Okay,
wrong.
The
Her
whole
makeup-
makeup.
Her makeup was a mess.
okay.
I
I just
don't
wanted to make
think-
sure it wasn't me.
Wrong shade.
I don't think she has eyebrows and that's why she paints them, or she shaved them and then she just paints them over with like something so that she can reshape them or something. At
Makes
least that's what I
total
think.
sense.
Well, I
Yeah.
want to ask about Brittany and Yazan because this one has got me so confused.
Hmm.
I don't know how far the deception goes. Is it Brittany lying to Yazan? Are they both lying to the producers? Are their families involved in the lie? Does the lie end and the truth begin with this couple? Because I refuse to believe that Yazan would actually put all this together and deceive his mother and his father to the point where they get so angry. So are the parents in on it as well, or is Brittany just deceiving everybody by herself? I'm so confused with them.
So can I explain this? If no
Yeah,
one
go ahead.
has anything else to say. So Brittany is lying to Yazan. Okay, there are some things that she said, like she's lying to Yazan, and Yazan takes these lies and he twists them into whole new lies and feeds his parents those new lies. So he's stuck in the middle, like, and then he's trying to make like have the cake and eat it too. Like he's trying to please the parents and please Brittany, but it's just not working out. You know
Are
what I
they
mean?
serious? Are they actually serious? Is either one of them serious about marrying the other? Because I don't believe that Yazan is serious about marrying Brittany, and he knows Brittany's not going to marry. So who's deceiving who? I don't know who's leading this deception.
I think Yazan doesn't really want to be serious, but because of the cultural implications with his parents, he's taking their lead to partially make them happy.
That's true. To be honest with you, like I don't know what it is about Yazan. Like, is it the big booty? Is that what's hunting? Like, is that what's like causing all of this? Because I remember one Arab YouTuber who made a video 2 days ago, and like we went over this conversation of what like why isn't Yazan having a girl from Jordan, a girl from his country? And I straight up told him, like, I'm a girl, I know for a fact that no woman would want Yazan. Literally no one would want Yazan. So the only option that he's got is Brittany. The only one who's giving him that type of attention. That's what got him hooked.
Why don't
It's
they
the
want
body.
him? Just to be just.
Mm.
Why wouldn't an Arab woman want Yazan?
Okay, so he's clearly broke. He clearly has no stable job. No, he really doesn't. Like, he has no job. Like, if you've got a diploma, if you've got a degree and you graduated from a college, why the heck is you working at a fish shop delivering fishes? Why? I know fishes are delicious and everything, and I love them, but why? And plus, his family is ratchet as hell. Literally ratchet. Like, the way they acted in that episode when they were shouting at Brittany and stuff like that, you would not catch them acting like that around an Arab girl. You would never, never. Like, put me or someone like me who speaks Arabic with that family and that mom, and I would bite her face off. Literally in seconds. So his whole family is messy. They're poor. He's lying about his diploma. He looks ugly. He's ugly. He has no style. What does he have? He has no language. He doesn't have English. Like his English is horrible. So he's clearly like, maybe I'm not gonna say absolutely uneducated. I'm gonna say so on education maybe. I don't know. He's just a straight up bum. Like no one would have him.
Like in regards to what
Yeah?
he was saying, because when the argument and everything happened, there was the part where Brittany middle fingered the mom with the head, and then from what I understand from Zayn's video, TLC didn't translate everything properly, and some of the things that Yazan was explaining to Brittany helped inflame the situation because of the cultural miscommunications. I understand the ratchets from
Yeah.
your perspective and other people's perspective, but at the same time, because of the way that Yazan wasn't completely explaining things properly to the family and explaining things properly to Brittany, and the cultural body language as well, because people forget about cultural body language. It inflamed the situation and made it 10 times worse. Hey,
Yes.
Abalavi. Hey, Gat. I don't know if I'm pronouncing
So
it.
Hey guys, super quick. Hey,
Hi, Ablavi. Hi,
Hi.
Gat.
Hi everyone, good morning.
hi.
hey guys. So a quick question.
So
So
let me.
quick question.
Mhm.
So we've kind of spent half an hour on a dead horse. So can we just go around and like close out 90 Day, because I kind of feel like the other shows are just way better. So
Yeah, I just want to add one thing about I just want to add something about Yes and Brittany to Queen. It goes like the way Zayn explained it is exactly what I said. It's like there's a lie that's going on between everyone, like everyone is lying to everyone, and that's why there is so much miscommunication between them, even when it comes to language barriers. You know, like Yazan takes what his parents say and he twists it, and then he takes what Brittany say and twists it so he can give it to his parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. Now let's go to the other show.
so Ablavi, do you have anything to add? Are you good?
I'm good.
Got the tour. Welcome again. Good to see you. Do you have
Thank you.
anything?
Thank
Do you
you.
have anything to add?
Yeah, I would about Brittany and Yazin, I would say from my experience, when you are black, whether black American, whether African, whatnot, most not being a stereotype or anything, forgive me to say this, but from my experience, most Arab people find you exotic, like you're an exotic thing. So they want to have you to show to everyone else, I have this exotic thing with me, not necessarily because they're actually serious about getting to settle down with you. Because I have been to Dubai a couple of times, and I've been approached by someone, and they're like, "Can I just have like a night with you? Like we wouldn't have to do anything. We'll take pictures so that I can show people. Then I'll pay you a certain amount." And I was like, "What the heck? That's very weird."
Yeah,
Can
Oh,
I?
Yeah.
Can
that's 100% true. Just to add to that, when I was in Dubai as well, people were coming up to me to ask me to take my picture. Literally, take a picture with me so they can post it on Facebook that
what?
they're taking a picture
oh
with
wow.
Yeah.
We
so
So it
yeah,
First of
comes
all,
down to that.
I just want to add something for everyone who's going to an Arabian country and you're being approached by someone asking you for a picture. Decline and move away really quick, because that's a way that they can scam you or like pickpocket you or anything like that.
yep,
Just saying that.
yep,
And for
100%.
True.
for Guatita, I just want to tell you, if someone approaches you and they're telling you like you're exotic and I want to do something with you, you're probably in danger. Move away real quick.
I did not dispute that, sad star. What I'm trying to say is this, because it can also happen online. I have heard someone tell me, send me pictures of your feet. First of all, they asked me, are you black? And I was like, yes. Then they were like, send me pictures of your feet and I will pay you a certain amount for that. Then I was like, what? That's weird. So then they asked me, have you done your nails? Or if you've not painted your nails or anything, I can pay for your picture, then you send me pictures. And I found that to be a bit weird. So I asked this person out of courtesy, because I was intrigued. I'm like, what the heck is this? So I asked them, why did you ask me if I was black? And they were like, this is what he said. I think black people like exotic and interesting, not necessarily that I'm looking to be serious with them. And it happened a couple of times. So I figured maybe it's something they see, because I have seen it here in my country with gentlemen from the like who have Arabic descent but are Kenyans, if you understand what I mean. So it kind of happens. I understand that idea of big booty, she's exotic, she's different from the women I see, but I would never settle down with her.
Yeah,
For
Oh my
Jenny,
that's so
god.
true.
Yeah.
for Jenny, I think she's just trying to find her own way of doing the eat, pay, love thing, and it's not going so well currently. And I think she needs to restructure her mindset, because one, Sumit is never going to settle down with her, because Sumit is looking for the next biggest four. because she seemed like she's not having the money she used to have, or he thought she had. Then two, when in an Indian in an Indian family, for example, when you're the woman and they start calling you problematic, there's one thing you need to understand. If we are going to get divorced, I need to say you're the bad one. I need to be the good one, so that when we are renegotiating the dowry that I'm supposed to pay back to the family, I can renegotiate it to a lower amount. If you were termed problematic, so you were not getting along with your in-laws, and especially if the entire family sticks together and says, yeah, she was problematic, so we need to renegotiate because we had to deal with her. Then two, I'm also trying to make it seem that whoever might be interested with you should know that you are problematic. So I'm also trying to ruin your chances of trying to get into another marriage, whether arranged or not. Those are the things we need to consider. She might not necessarily be problematic, but is a perception of the family.
The thing that I really like, I completely get where you guys are coming from, but the thing that really threw me off was the part about him wanting to commit suicide, and they kind of linked that to the bad marriage. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more to be uncovered in that relationship.
I can be.
I think Summit and Jenny are both just liars, and we can't really believe anything that they have to say moving
That's
forward.
true.
Fair
So
enough.
let's go over to Mama's boy now, and let's
Yes.
let's see
Okay.
what mess we can
I'm gonna say.
come up
I'm
with.
sorry,
This.
Debbie. I'm gonna start first. Layla is becoming the new queen of TLC. I don't care what nobody says. She is TV gold. Okay, now that I've said that.
By the way, guys, I have a friend who is a friend of Shakib's, and I might end up actually being introduced to Shakib. So who knows? Maybe we'll catch a few like secret information from here and there. Who knows? Maybe I would be his friend.
Oh, that'd be nice. You'd have to come back and dish all of the secret dirt with us.
Can we
Of
start?
course.
Exactly. Can we start with them? Because to me, they were the show for the most part for me.
To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I can actually like. I kind of understand Shakib and his mom, but I also like sometimes don't understand them. You know, it's like mixed emotions. Do you know what I mean? And then again, there's one thing that I want to say. The mom, his mom never liked any of his girlfriend, and she never liked Emily, and she liked that one girl. Do you remember his ex-wife? So maybe it's not the girls. Maybe there is something about Shakib that we don't know, but his mama knows, and that's what we will find out in the future. You know what I mean? So
Ablavi, have
maybe
you
there's
been
something
watching
like
this?
that.
Have you been watching Ablavi?
No, I watch it every 3 episodes.
Every 3. Did you watch
This
any?
episode was good though, because all the boys seemed to like stand up for their girls. Just for this episode.
No, I'm
Not for too long.
Yeah,
Not for too long.
We just had too much this week. Maybe next week I'll catch up, but this week
Please tell me you watched the Family Chantel.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So now I know when to come back to you. Okay.
Okay. So who else? Did anyone else watch Mama's Boy this week?
I haven't had a chance to actually look for it, to watch it, so I haven't seen any of it yet. But it's on my list. It's on my list.
Mess. You've got to watch it, Pearl.
I have to find it.
You do. So since no one's really watching Mama's Boy but me and Debbie at this point, can we shift on over to the Family Chantel since they were just a mess?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready for that.
Okay. So I won't like Ablavi. Look, since you haven't really spoken yet, where do you want to what do you want the people to start?
You know what? It's interesting because Royal is very odd, and so is Angenette, because I feel like I'm getting half truths from both of them. And I don't understand why they're so interested in their family and friends being in their relationship. Like, that was such an awkward... Okay, first of all, we got to start off from the beginning. Pedro as your best man, that's very odd. very odd behavior when y'all
I-
don't like each other.
that threw me as well. And did you see River's face? He was just like, what's going on there?
What also was odd was Angenette gave them a address to go pick up dresses, but they're not from the Philippines. That to me, that was just very disrespectful. Granted, it might just be a culture thing. I just didn't like that.
I thought it was a setup for them to get robbed, but that was just me. I'm
Well,
just saying. I'm
to go
just
back to
saying.
the best man thing, guys, I thought it was really nice of Royal to include Pedro because Royal and
too.
Pedro don't really know each other. They haven't. He wasn't around in season 1. They haven't had this fight. This is the
But
first time we're meeting Royal, so he doesn't really have that beef with Pedro.
the
But
thing is, I understand where you're coming from, Pearl, but the best man generally is the person that's most closest to you.
no, but he wasn't the best man. He was one of the groomsmen.
No, Royal said best man, right?
No,
Yeah.
no. Royal said that
No,
they're all best men.
groomsmen.
He's one of the groomsmen, but
But
he's not.
still, that's still somebody you're close to. That's you don't do
No,
Yeah.
because it's not a big wedding. This literally the only people from the only people from his side of the family come
We're
in.
American. We don't do that. No,
No, no,
it's
no.
somebody you know.
This
I
you can't
would say this.
go there and exclude Pedro. That would be rude. If everyone else is in the wedding and
That's
then you
true.
deliberately exclude him, that's just building. This is to me. It's like Royal handing over like an olive branch to Pedro. They
Well,
don't have any beef.
as American, we don't do
I
that. We don't do
I
that.
Can I
feel I
just
feel
say,
I
because you think
feel
that
Why not though?
That culturally we wouldn't do that. You wouldn't have a wedding. It doesn't matter if you go all the way around the world. If you're not friends, as an American, you wouldn't be in the wedding. That's not what we do.
But this is not just a friend. This is
now.
your family.
But you
Yes,
married
and
into the family. We don't do
a
that.
blurry, there's one thing you need to understand, and mostly I see it in our African culture. And when you're having a wedding, it doesn't matter whether you don't like your brother-in-law, your sister-in-law. You're supposed to include them into the wedding because they're family. That's how you look at them. It doesn't matter whether you have beef with them or not. You
Correct.
include them on the lineup. And if they have children, God forbid, you also include the children on the lineup. Then after the wedding, you're going to sort out your private issues
But still,
on the
Royal
side.
is an American for all intents and purposes. So as an American, looking at him doing that as an American, it didn't make sense.
But
Ablavi, wait, Ablavi, I agree with you. I do agree with you. However, this is where I think Karen comes in and the producers, because I don't think Royal likes anybody in his family.
True.
And I don't think he wanted anybody there.
True.
I don't even think he likes Angenette, to be quite honest. But I think Karen said, well, we have to be like a family and everybody has to be included. And that's what I want. Honestly, I agree. I see where you're coming from, Ablavi, but I don't think Royal would have wanted them there, period. I just don't feel like he likes them.
I agree with Miss Robin.
Yeah.
I think TLC partially said it.
Can I say something? Can I say something? I just saw something in the comments that made me really laugh. And Black Lavender said, "Did y'all see Winter's neck when Royal shoved her head?" To be honest, I want to say something about Pedro and the groomsmen thing. So I think it's very adorable. Like, I loved how Pedro was really excited and he was telling Chantel that, oh my God, I'm finally being included into the family. And then the next thing that he did after he said that he's included into the family is literally act as problematic as the family. And like, it's like he's been trying to trigger someone through the whole situation, asking questions and asking Royal questions and asking Angenette questions. And like, do you know, he's been channeling his inner Chantel and his inner Karen after he was like, I don't know, appointed as a groomsman. I don't know, like what was that?
Well,
Someone explain that.
He was trying to be like them because that's how the family is. They're very nosy, so he's blending in with them.
Very nosy,
Fair.
And he was also
very trifling.
That's
I
very
think
fair.
it was a little get even Steven on his part. I mean, they did it to him, so why not do it back
That's what
to them?
That's what it is. That's all what it is. He's still holding on to that resentment.
I think he's just trying to I think he's just trying to get into. Sorry, I think he's just trying to get into the inner circle of the family. So if I behave like them, then I have less trouble. Let the trouble be shifted to someone else. I think that's what he was trying to
So
do,
basically,
to seem
right.
like he's for them.
Go ahead.
Oh.
So basically,
No,
he's not new. He's not the newest anymore. So he feels like, okay, now I'm really part of the family. So now we can all just pile on Angenette.
No,
Basically.
Exactly, that's what I
his
think.
family is the same as Chantel. There's no
True.
difference between Lydia and Karen. They are the same person. One just speaks Spanish, one just speaks English.
Fair.
They are the same way with their children. So he's used to that family.
True. Okay.
Can we talk about Alejandro for a second?
Oh, I love Alejandro.
Okay, let me tell you something.
Hold up. Hold up. Let me start with this.
Okay.
This is where Debbie and her projection comes in. Y'all get thrown out your mama's house, but you just magically just so happen to have a friend who's out of town, and you can use her apartment. Really? That's really convenient.
Yep.
Okay,
And
moving on.
several outfits too. They had several outfits.
Yeah.
And how Alejandro won me, like the moment they were going to meet her friends, he was wearing this jacket, like looks like a suit top, like it's a suit jacket. And I was like, oh, Alejandro, you look good. And then they gave us the back shot, and there's like silver graffiti at the back says, I don't know, you live only once or something like that. Like the most cliche thing ever.
Yeah.
Like he lost me right at that moment. I was like, Mama Lydia was right. Out of here. You're out. No.
But did you see they were matching? They were both wearing like suede clothing. She had like a suede dress on. He had a suede jacket.
A suede jacket with silver graffiti on the back. Why?
He thinks he's so cool, Alejandro.
He does.
He's a
God.
fashionista, and I can guarantee you anything. He came with clothes for her. Just speaking as a Caribbean person, you're going to meet people. You got to take stuff home. You got to take clothes. You got to take shoes. You got to take bicycle. Like you got to take laptop, phones, unlocked. Make sure you get them unlocked. Like you got to take everything.
Well,
I mean, he got her stuff. He got her and her mom like cheap purses and cheap perfume. So
I didn't say they were going to be like legit, real stuff. Look. You try to take the most you can, so you go to the cheapest places and you buy in bulk.
Exactly, just like Pedro did when he was going to DR. He went to the thrift store. Where did Chantel take him to buy clothes for?
Lydia. And in a lot of these cases, like we aren't making the most money. You come as an immigrant to these countries, you get low-paying jobs, but you still got to put something aside and buy stuff, stock up, and then when you go home, or if you can't go home, you send barrels back home with stuff for your family. It's just the way it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But can we talk about Nicole and her trifling friends? Nicole needs to fire all.
No, her friends were good.
No,
Her friends were right.
Nicole needs to fire all of her friends. Fire
No,
all of them.
no, that friend that said, "What's your mama gonna think when she finds out he's married?" Like, I like that friend.
Yeah, that was right.
Those friends are the realest friends out there. They're ready to put her on the spot and tell her what's right and what's wrong and give her all the options that she needs. Just to they're giving her a wake-up call in case she's not awake. That's what her friends were doing.
I
just want to say something.
I also like his family that said get rid of her. Those are the two VIPs of the show for me.
But isn't it? I find it really funny how they were Nicole's friends were talking about him like he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Whose family are you talking about?
Nicole's friend.
Alejandro. Oh wait, whose family?
Yeah.
That said to get rid of her?
We were talking about Nicole and her
Alejandro. It was in the preview for
Alejandro.
Yeah.
Alejandro's family.
When she ran off, you heard somebody said, "Dude, get rid of her."
But see,
just dump her. They said with that attitude, just dump her.
Yeah.
I
It's
missed
gonna
that.
be interesting because now we're gonna see what his marriage is really like because he ain't telling the truth about that marriage. So it's gonna be really interesting to see if he's really getting a divorce, if he has a child. It should be interesting.
That's the part I want to know, Ablavi. I'm right there with the child. No one has asked him if he has children,
I don't think he does.
and I want to know.
But do you think Nicole is bothered by the fact that he's married?
Nicole
I
just wants that green card.
mm, I think she's just spoiled. I think she wants Alejandro because he's already taken, and she's very own way-ish. Or sorry, that's not the right way to say it, but spoiled and selfish. You know, she has a very bad attitude, and that is the fault of her mother and Pedro for spoiling her. And I think this is a really good wake-up call for her, hopefully,
Mhm.
if she isn't too blind to see it.
But do you think she's
I
spoiled because sorry. Do you think she's spoiled because obviously her friends are saying that he's not good enough for her? You know, that she should be with someone of a higher status. But if she's happy to be with someone that they consider of a lower status, then she's not acting very spoiled. She might actually like him in a way.
She's absolutely spoiled. Nicole
What?
has nothing. Nicole has gone in on this show. All she talks about is money, boobs, everything materialistic. Then she's dating a broke man. At least just be a sugar baby and call it a day.
Fair,
I,
fair.
I, I, I feel she's spoiled. Yes, I agree with Ablavi, but I also feel she's trying to be controversial because controversy sells. So the moment she's dating this person who you would ideally think she's not dating, when he's married, he's kind of sketchy. So it gives her more credibility in terms of being in the show because she's bringing the drama. She's becoming the new Chantel. So she's trying very, very hard to be Chantel. That's what we need to remember. She's not trying to be herself. That's how I
Gatatua,
feel.
Gatatua, I would agree with you, but I think this is if her mom plotted this plot line, I think it's really stupid because her mom went down this path. Both of her children are from a married man and got her nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Got her nowhere. So, like, why would you want your child to repeat the same mistakes that you've made?
Because it will get me more camera time. Remember, that's what we are trying to build
Quite
here.
honestly, I zone out when she comes on because I don't want to give the extra effort of reading the bullshit that comes out of her mouth. I mean, I will read Alejandro. At this point, I'm reading her friends, but I don't want to hear nothing that her train track mouth say. I really don't.
And
She makes no sense. She look like a fucking ironing board every time she come on the screen.
Debbie!
And I don't get, we ain't getting no money for this
We
girl.
we not monetized. We're not monetized yet, so we okay.
But it's just like I'm so fed up with her. I have no more effort to give her or this pathetic storyline. And like I would rather watch his mutilated eyebrow for 60 minutes than watch her.
I would say we uh, how can I put this politely?
Don't worry about being
Don't
polite.
put it politely.
No, I'm just
You can
trying to figure
swear.
it out. Cause I feel this is what I feel. I feel she's trying very, very hard. Like her mom is trying to be the Karen, and she's trying very hard to be the Chantel and outdo her, because she's saying this is a platform I can make for myself. I can build my character. Because I believe the scene from last week when the mother was being all mean and insulting Alejandro was all choreographed. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh
do
yeah, of
not
course.
believe I do not believe in any one instance it was a real situation, because the next minute you see they're in an apartment, someone's apartment who just happens to be out of town, and there's no sane human being who would carry a stranger into the mother's house if the mother didn't know the person was coming. And two, how would you be traveling between two countries and your mother doesn't know you were crossing borders? That's and you live with her in the same house. That's weird. I feel they're all just doing it for the cameras, doing it for the show. They're trying to prolong their lives, fame, and some change with it. That's what I
Okay,
think.
let's go to the last 20 minutes. Let's go to that whole setup and that
Yeah.
whole fight scene. That was, see, this is truly what reality television does. This is what we mean when we say scripted. When they give you bits and pieces of information at a time, and then they keep making you film it, because you can tell how the filming wasn't together. But let's start off with Angenette. Angenette tells her friends, what her friends weren't saying is he had a green card. That's why you were after him, because
Right.
Royal wasn't nowhere.
Yep.
He's not nice. He's not humble. He's weird. He's awkward. And she could have found that in the Philippines. But he had that American green card and he had that good government job. So she was like, yes, for me. Then we got to go on to the friends. The friends are like, why don't you get me one too? What are you going to do when they go to your family? She's like, I don't know. I think when they got upset was when she was talking about the losing of the child, because that's making no sense. So I really did wish Royal would talk about it, but I hate to say this, I feel like Royal is kind of abusive.
Is it true
I
that he
think
was
so
in the
too.
military?
Yeah, they say.
And
yeah,
I
they
agree
say-
with you. I agree with you. I think
He's
he has anger issues for real,
Agreed.
because he's zoned out at that bar. And
Yeah,
then when
to
he
be honest-
cried and clothesline poor Winter. Poor Winters get beat up in every fight. Oh.
Here's my thing: is like, was it me? If I'm reading the situation wrong, just tell me. But I just felt her friends were way too comfortable speaking about a situation they just found out about. It just seemed like they were way too invested in something they really don't know. They felt so comfortable just to ask him directly. I was like, well, damn.
I think the producers told them to ask. I think they did. Like,
no, I would have asked.
well,
I would have asked.
oh,
Same.
and
I would have to.
Yeah.
I'm with
I would have to.
Maybe if Angenette is the type of person who doesn't like talk up for herself, maybe then they felt they had the right to defend her because that's their lifelong friend or something like that.
Because if you think about it, if you think about it, if your friend has just told you something shocking, which is that he didn't believe that a baby was yours, that would be the first thing I would ask when I see him, and especially because Angenette actually got the ball rolling because she started talking about the Facebook girls that he was searching for and all that stuff. So they just decided, well, this is on my mind. Let me add that in there. But I think, like, for me, I kind of, from what I understood, I kind of understood a bit why Royal was a bit irritated at that point, because it sounded like he's tried to talk about it at home, but she doesn't want to talk about it every time he brings it up at home, and then suddenly you're ambushing me with it with a whole crowd of people. I feel like it was too much of an audience.
You believe that lie?
I just want to say something. I just want to say, sorry for interrupting.
Go on,
The whole situation that I saw was why Angenette's friends were acting the way they were acting. I think it was normal. I think it was fine for a reason. It's that table was split into half. It was Royal and his family, and then there's Angenette and her friends.
And
Royal
Pedro.
and his family are top, and yeah, Royal and Pedro, and then
All
everyone
the
else is just
outsiders.
secondary.
Yeah, the outsiders were on one side.
Exactly. So when Royal is saying something or Royal is being defensive, it's Angenette versus Royal and his people. So at some point, also her friends had to come up because they felt like she's being like ganged on. And then they were like, no, that's our friend. Why, like, you're Royal, you're also in the wrong. Then what about the lies and the Facebook and all of these things? And I get vibe, like, from what I've seen so far, Royal gives me very domestic abuser vibes. To be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie about it. The way Angenette talked about it and the way she's crying, and she was like, I don't want to be around you. I wanted to talk to you with your family around or with other people around, because she doesn't want to be in that place with that person, especially in anger. You don't know what happens. I come from a very I've been a victim of domestic abuse for like most of my life, since I was 6 years old. So I don't know. I know how these situations happen, and I know that I never want to confront the person who abused me in close or even far proximity, but in the same distance. Like, if they can run and catch me, or they can run and touch me, I know it's done. So it's very understandable that Angenette, when she was back in America, she's very feeling very timid, because at some point, if even around what's her name, Chantel and the mom, Chantel and the mom can hear anything from Angenette, or River and Winter can hear anything from Angenette and go tell Royal, and then it's Royal versus Angenette back at home alone. Do you get what I
Yeah.
mean? That's why she
Yeah.
didn't talk, she didn't interact, nothing of that sort. But then in Philippines, that girl, the moment she was like, "You can go back home, I'm staying here," I know something was really off. That whole sentence was like, she's not even there. I don't think she's there for the green card, because she was ready to give up that green card right then and there.
But she said earlier in the episode that she was thinking that she would just stay. That was a telling sign as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but no, you could no. Two things can be when the way his abuse runs. She might have not have known he was abusive until they started living together, because they only
Exactly.
met each other once. So she's been in the United States. I don't know how many months they've been there. So she could say, you know what, this is not worth it. So let me go home, and using the show as an escape. But there's something about Royal they're not telling us, because for him not to have been on this many seasons tells us there's something about Royal that Karen doesn't trust.
He was military, right?
Yeah.
True.
Could he have some PTSD maybe somewhere?
But no, I don't think
Possible.
that would be a factor, but I think he just has a tendency with anger. Because if you look
Yeah.
at River and how River and Pedro keep going at it, and that fight over nothing, they don't, and even Winter, how she blew up and how she got so angry at Chantel, and even look at Chantel when she gets angry. They definitely don't know how to harness their anger as a family.
No, but with the other
Do you
guys,
think, because I haven't watched
their
this
anger.
season, can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
If your family, like from the season one and everything else that was going on the run up with Chantel and Pedro, would you really want to go on TV with your family behaving like that? Because I personally, I wouldn't.
But then you would never go on. You would never come on. Like if that was your viewpoint, you wouldn't go on the show now when you have a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if your circumstances change and you're in a different position and you're seeing the financial gain, that could have changed his mind.
You have to look at Royal. There's just something about him, and it could be I having this very weird, but my intuition tells me he's very abusive. And if you went back to his old girlfriends, you would see that.
Okay.
That's what it's telling me.
It wouldn't
I
surprise me. I don't want to put everybody with a military. I don't want to make the assumption that anybody in the military is abusive, but at the same time, we have to understand if they're learning combat and all the other things that goes into making a military man or making military people, then it wouldn't I don't put anything past anybody, even down to the meekest person.
But it's
when they're pushed
right.
can
It's
be,
not
you
just
know.
the military, because you can, like, say for example, Jihoon. Jihoon could be very abusive, and even though he doesn't look like it, like there's no one form of abuse. But the thing with Royal, every time he gets on it, it's something not being said with him, and everybody knows it in the
Okay.
room, and just the audience doesn't know it, because for the fact of the matter, when Royal said something, nobody feels the need to question him on it until Angenette gets in the room is a problem.
Okay.
Do y'all also notice
I
that
agree.
he lies a lot, and he digs in on
Yes.
these lies,
Mhm.
and refuses to say my bad, I'm sorry, or even I didn't even like say that. Like he's so weird, and he lies about the stupidest things. Like that's a trigger for me, because I personally don't like liars, and I feel he lies about the dumbest things.
But what
Can I
I
ask a
think about
question?
it,
Oh, sorry.
sorry, just to respond to what Debbie's just said. I
Yes.
think that Royal is like incredibly private. I don't think it was his idea to come on the show. I think Karen sort of yanked him on the show. He probably didn't have a job back in Texas. So they probably said, come over here and, be on the show and at least get some money. Because he doesn't like when anything he says is being repeated on camera. He doesn't like when what he tells Chantal is being repeated. He doesn't like his issues with Angenette being repeated on camera. he wants to talk about everything in closed doors. And I think him sort of fighting with the producers and fighting with the cameras is his way of saying, I'm so done with this. I don't want to be part of the show. I don't want to put my business out there like this. So I think that that's him in that way, like not wanting to. I don't think he's lying. I think he just doesn't want to admit it on camera, sort of thing.
I have to disagree.
I feel, yeah, I disagree with you, Paul. I feel he's controlling. And when
Oh no,
you're a
he's
controlling
100%
person,
controlling. Yeah.
no, as in when you're a controlling person, you want to control every situation and every single aspect of it, even the narrative, you'll try and control it. And when someone tries to speak up against what you're trying to control, you get all defensive, and your defense is to fight. Because when we are fighting, we are not discussing it. So you become deflective by becoming violent. And so Angenette was able to speak about it because she was back in her country, so she was feeling safe to speak about it. But you cannot speak with someone like that in close quarters and think you're going to resolve it, because this person's deflective mechanism is fighting.
No, we're saying
Exactly.
exactly the same thing.
Hey
He's
guys.
definitely controlling.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was just trying to figure out what Royal does. So it says this article is from ET, says he's a surgical technologist. So he's been in school. He's been in Texas for school. So let me find the quote real quick. Okay, Royal admits, in a way, I feel very absent from my family, but I don't regret that because Angenette is the best woman that I've met. So he does not want to be there. He is very, I agree with he's very private. I agree. It's like Karen probably guilted him into doing this show because even when they do his, I guess, a surprise party, he's very uncomfortable. So when
I
you are,
disagree with that. He's a man, and see, this is one of those things we got to be careful about. He is a man, and as a man, nobody can make you do anything you don't want to. So we're not
okay,
going to give him the boy hat when he's a man.
I'm gonna say this.
No.
I'm
What,
gonna
you're
hold
watching
on,
Mama's Boy.
I'm gonna answer this. So, as yes, he's a man, but if you are not a male child and you don't understand how we will bow to our mothers. You don't have the experience. You don't know that. Me
True.
myself, when my mother would tell me to do something, I may push back. But if she is adamant, like you're going to do this, I'm going to do it. And there's nothing you can say or tell me about that. So if he probably said no, I don't want to do it. His mama came back and said, look, you need to do this. And when mama speaks, boys, we listen. And that's just it's just a fact.
Girls don't
And
have that problem.
No, the difference between women, the mother and the daughter, that is crazy. I'm sorry. Y'all will fight back. Y'all will fight from sun up to sundown. Neither one of y'all are giving in. It's gonna be a dog fight. It's gonna be somebody's not gonna walk.
can I
So
just say, 'cause it's
so it's
like
very different.
in the when you think of siblings and the hierarchy of the siblings, there's usually a number of characters. Like I'm one of five. One of us you might call the black sheep in the family, is the quiet, is the laid back, chilled one. You know what I
Wait,
mean? You've got the out there one. You've got the spoiled younger child. So
Chantel,
I would assume I'd have to go, because I haven't got to this series, that Royal is probably the quiet one. Like the bits that I've
Royal's the
seen,
favorite. He's the favorite.
like there's elements of Royal that remind me of my younger brother, and he's the quiet one. He doesn't involve himself in the family. He takes a step back. He's very chilled. You know what I mean? He's very private. He's very about his business. And my mother was never that the way that Karen is in terms of, but I can understand the different dynamics in the way that siblings happen and things happen, especially what Jamal said about when it comes to boys.
But Royal is, I would agree with Debbie because he's manipulative. And he's very strategic with his manipulation as well because he's
Mhm,
manipulating his family and his
mhm,
wife at the same time, and he's telling them
True.
bits and pieces of
Mm,
information,
Mhm.
and then
mm.
and he can manipulate Karen. That's why I have to disagree, because
mhm,
for Karen to not say anything about Anjanette and how she is a
mhm,
Rockweiler, no,
mhm,
that was not a racist, but I'm just saying, like, Rockweilers are very aggressive and she's very aggressive.
Mhm.
I cannot see that happening because
mhm.
he's been very manipulative since he's been on this screen.
Okay.
Can I ask a question real quick, you
Please.
guys? There was that moment, I think, when Royal was trying to, I don't know, was he trying to gaslight Chantel or Angenette? So there was this conversation about when Chantel confronted Angenette with her talking to several American guys, and then when Angenette was like asking Royal, that didn't happen, why did you talk about it, and why did you say that to your sister? And then he literally looked at them both and he was like, I don't know where Chantel is getting this from. Like, where does she get these from? Like, she's probably drunk. Like, like did this conversation even happen? Did Royal actually on camera stand there with Chantel and tell her that
No,
Angenette? It never happened. We never saw that.
no, because every conversation with Royal is off camera. So that's how he's manipulative. So you can't go back and see what he said.
What?
No,
Every
but this
Really?
conversation
yeah.
happened. Chantel said that happened in the beginning of their relationship. So this was way, way, way months ago before they were on the show. That's why you're not going to find any evidence of it anywhere because it happened a long time ago.
But even so, Angenette had the miscarriage not too far along. He said nothing about it. You're getting all this information from Chantel's side of the family and Angenette. It's very manipulative.
That's the thing. He wants to talk about all this stuff outside the cameras, but once the camera is on, he's going to deny every single one of it because he doesn't want to. That's his way of controlling his world. That's his way of sort of controlling the people around him as well.
But Pearl, it's interesting
His
you say
narrative,
that.
yeah.
It's interesting because it seems like that narrative is breaking down next episode. So this conversation right here, especially those last 10, 15 minutes, this makes me look forward to the next episode even more when Anjanette just says, you know what, you think Chantel is stupid. And he did not readily deny that. So some things are breaking down there.
Did you
So
notice, Jamal? Sorry to cut you. In
no,
that
no.
scene, did you notice how he was rubbing Anjanette's leg when she was
Yes.
saying all that stuff?
Like,
That's
baby,
his way
stop
of
it.
like exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's him
That's
like
a power
losing
move.
control.
Yeah.
That's a power move.
Yeah, like Shakib's did to him. Like she
Yes, the power
basically
move where she's controlling him. Like she doesn't need to talk. She just needs to like any kind of physical contact to show dominance and to show that she
Mm-hmm.
still exists in the same surrounding and she's still the one that's in control. Royal is doing the same thing to Anjanette the way
mm-hmm.
Shakib's mom was doing to him during that interview. I just want to add something to Ablavi. She said something about when we were talking about domestic violence and domestic abuse, is that Anjanette didn't necessarily need to know that Royal was abusive until she got there and started living with him, because this is how abusers work. Like this is like, for example, right now I'm not living with any type of member of my family. I'm living alone. But when I go there, when I'm not around, there's like when I'm in a country, they're always so nice and they're always so happy. The moment I step in that airport of that country in that car, the worst things are gonna be said, and by the time I get home, someone is gonna beat the fuck out of me. That's how it happens. That's how they work. You know what I mean? So probably Royal was there. If he's actually like really that abusive to the point that Anjanette would break down and wouldn't want to be around him in such a close proximity, that means that what you said is exactly right. Is that Royal was probably the nicest, sweetest, most amazing guy to ever exist in the world until Anjanette got into the first argument. I'm not gonna say fight, just an argument with him in the close proximity behind, like between four doors, between four walls. So this is just how these people functioned. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And I'm sorry for Winter because she really gets beat up every single. I actually thought River was the one who attacked her first, but turns out it wasn't River. It was Royal. Poor girl, she got the hit. Like she got hit in the face, like
She
straight up in
needs
the face.
she needs to like she needs like some moves or something, like a head weave, something, because she always gets hit.
You know what
She
the thing
goes in the
is
She
though?
middle.
just needs to keep her distance.
Karen needs to
Yeah.
spend more time on Winter because I worry about Winter on this show and I worry about her mental health as well. And Karen she really does need to spend more time with Winter.
Yep.
Okay, guys, let's go through our final thoughts.
Okay.
All right. So, Sad Star, you have any final thoughts
Yes.
on any of the mess that we talked about this evening?
Ev- Every single person that we talked about, Jenny, Sumit, Royal, Angenette, Chantel, every single person is trifling. And I don't like them, including Alejandro and his jacket. Two memorable jackets that I'll ever like remember is Alejandro's jacket and Brittany's jacket in Jordan. Period.
What about Blue Suit from
Disasters.
Lockdown?
Oh yeah, blue suit.
Who?
Love After Lock.
Which blue suit?
Blueberry Pimp, she was talking about Trice.
What's his
I
name?
haven't watched
Tyree-
Love
yeah.
After Lockup.
Oh
I
my
haven't watched
God.
it, but
Oh,
I've seen.
and the guy from another jacket that I want to add in another suit, the red suit from I Love a Mama's Boy.
Oh,
Oh,
Jason.
That
Jason.
red guy, the red
Jason.
tux.
Oh,
Y'all,
That's too
if
bad.
that's not Colty 2.0, that's Colt. I look at him, I see Colt's face, I see Colt's love handles, I see
Oh,
Colt's male titties, I see everything. It's literally look at him just sitting there and cover his face with your hand, and you'll see like he built like Colt.
oh God.
she's not lying though.
I
And his mom could just was his mom. His mom, she could be a young Debbie. If you look at her, if you
his
look at her,
mom, his mom, his mom was sitting there and she was like, "I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you." And I was like, "No, this is not the song. You're not looking him in the eye, and he's a grown ass man, and you're singing that to him. This is not this.
Scary. That's scary.
This
I
is why
didn't even
Layla's my
see that.
favorite."
Yeah, I didn't see that at all. But now
That's
all I'm seeing is Jason in a Speedo with his vagina falling over it.
His vagina.
ooh.
Yeah, like when he was in Brazil on the beach before he
Vagina.
pulled up, yeah, his belly
He
button
said
looks
a
like a
vagina.
vagina.
His fupa, his fupa.
No, the belly button, it actually looked like a vagina. It was like long. It wasn't
Oh
round.
my God, I can't with you guys.
I know it's like when that area gets really, it counts. Yeah, when people get really fatty, like really thick, I guess, juicy. That's what happens to that. That's what happens to that area, I guess.
Oh,
oh
oh
my
my
God.
God, Jason, come on in a Speedo this
Can I say,
season.
because I've got to go.
Mhm.
Just like we were watching Yanla the other day, and Shay Johnson was on there with her family, and we looked at how the mother was behaving. To a
Mhm.
certain extent, all these children are a reflection of Karen and her husband. So as much as obviously I have to sit down to watch it because I'm not on these episodes. But in regards to what Abalavi was saying with Winter, if Winter wants that attention, she's gonna have to find the strength and the power for herself because she's of a certain age. You can obviously see there's certain things in terms of her confidence and her self-esteem, and the fact that Chantel was, the it girl, the cheerleader,
Mhm.
and she had that kind of Karen had that kind of toddlers and tiaras, I don't know, coach mom towards Chantel. So for the rest of them, I'm just interested. Obviously, I'm interested to watch the episode based on what everybody's saying. Good night. God bless.
Bye, Queen.
Bye, Queen.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Queen.
Bye-bye.
I will go next. I'm not really into TLC right now. I did it for y'all. I am really interested because we have to break down Salt Lake. I watched it again. Won't get into it. I'm not a fan actually of the show, and I'll tell you why later.
I'm Tommy, no.
Oh, Bobby, after one episode, you're not a fan?
You know what it is? You know how you can see something going right or you can see something going wrong? I
Right.
just see the going wrong.
Okay.
But that's what we love.
Well, you're right. We'll bring you back. We'll bring you back part way. We'll bring you back part way.
And I'm looking forward to 90 days. I'm done. That's why I didn't even talk about Debbie and them. I'm done with that show. I'm waiting for December 6th, getting back in the season. I have no tolerance for old woman Jenny, Brittany for the streets. Ji Hoon never had a job. I'm not for these people. My Lisa, okay. Can you let's I just want to have a poll in the audience. Who believes Tim and my Lisa slept together? Put 1 if you believe they slept together, or put 2 if you believe they've never slept together. That's just all I want to say.
Are you talking about ever?
Yes.
Oh.
I think she put it on him.
She
Cause she's trying to
definitely.
get,
Yeah.
yeah, I think she
Yeah.
did.
Here's the reason why. I don't think he would fly down to Colombia if he ain't got none. I'm sorry. I had to put it out there.
Well, there's a 1.
But it's debatable whether they've had sex while in Colombia.
She
There
said they
are 4
did.
ones.
No, she said they did. She said, well, here's what
I
she
don't
said. She's
believe
like,
her.
no, but
She's lying and
no.
he's lying.
Here's my thing is I don't know any woman who let's be real. Men will lie on their D's. That we all know that. I don't know any woman who would like lie on their vagina. I'm sorry, women just do not do it.
Yeah.
If
Yes, we
anything,
do.
women y'all lie less. Y'all don't lie more generally.
Yeah, but we lie if it's a hot guy, not Tim. Like what woman wants?
Or you'll lie if it's like a future.
Stop.
I've lied on my vagina several times.
More,
You get old enough and you will.
really?
Yeah. I'll admit to sleeping with a lot of the people I've slept with.
No, I mean you lie. You don't lie. You don't lie more. You don't over exaggerate the
Yeah, like
number.
if my friend likes him and I like him too, I'd be like, yeah, I smashed him, knowing I didn't do it.
No, Bobby!
Oh, Bobby.
Y'all treacherous. I learned something new.
Yeah, like no, don't pee on my bush. Stay in yours.
True.
Oh my goodness! I think they did.
I think they did because she wouldn't be so upset that he
Right.
had an affair with someone else if she hadn't. Like, if like you had me and you gave me up for that, you know. So I think they did. They must have. Even Tim wouldn't wait that long. So,
Oh my God.
but
Well,
anyway,
everybody in the chat believes with me. No, he did not give any. So thank you, chat, and I will see you later in the week for Bravo, and we're gonna have to dissect Salt Lake because I took notes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh no, but I got notes. She got notes on every character, what they did wrong. Okay, I'm ready for it.
We'll be ready for you. Bye, Bobby.
Bye, Bobby.
bye, Blondie.
Bye bye.
Okay, should I go next?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I was just gonna say, yeah, I'm like a Blondie, really. I'm just waiting for this 90-day season to end because I'm not on board with any of the couples. You know, I'm sick of their drama, really. Like, even Biniam and Ariel, we don't even talk about them anymore. That's how boring they are.
Yeah, I forgot about them. I really
we don't
did.
even talk about them anymore. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the new season. I want to see some of the old guys. I really want to see Rebecca and Ziad. I really want to see. I want to see what other lies she has, if she's divorced yet and all that stuff. So
I'm more interested in Mike and Natalie. What's
and Mike and Natalie. Yep.
I do.
I wanna
Because
see-
one,
I'm
Well,
not interested in any of the old people.
I want to know who got her new boobs. I need to know. I need to know that. I need to know if he's paid off his debt and if he's actually gonna give her children. That's all I need.
Yep. And
I don't
the
think
new
she has
alcoholic.
boobs. I think she just got like American Farm Girl fluffy. Because she's probably eating McDonald's. Yeah. I bet you she ain't a health freak anymore. I bet you she eating a bunch of McDonald's and Taco Bell.
True.
Okay.
I agree with that. She and Uncle Bo. Yeah, I see that.
Because I was like, she looking kind of Melanie up top. I was just kind of okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
are those new? Did you buy them? What's going on? We'll
And
find out.
it's the first time that we have an alcoholic on the show, so that'll be interesting.
Which
Yeah,
one?
that goes.
Ooh.
One of
Joey.
them's an alcoholic.
Joey.
Yeah.
Joey.
I admire anybody who starts drinking at 8:50 in the morning.
Whiskey too. I'm like, seriously? I need a warm up. Like I'm not
Hard stuff.
A little vodka cranberry to warm up. Then you can go into the hard stuff. You can't come out with whiskey at 8:50. No.
Well, some people have coffee, some people have whiskey.
True. Fair.
Some people have coffee in their whiskey in their coffee also.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Technically, if you haven't gone to bed yet, you still rolling from last night.
Fair,
That's
Debbie.
right.
Fair
Carry
point.
it through. And he's in New Orleans. You know, they party really hard.
That's fair.
Yeah,
No,
different time zone.
I stand corrected. That's very fair points.
Yeah.
Very good point. Very good point. Anyway, but let me tell you, I love Family Chantel. I didn't know the show was going to be this good. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I want to see who fights who next week. I want to see what happens with Nicole and Alejandro, and fake, real, scripted. I don't care. It's entertaining. So I'm looking
It is,
forward
with
to
the
it.
exception of Nicole. Yeah. With the,
All right. Anyway, that's me off.
all right, my
Right,
friend.
Pearl.
Thanks,
All right.
and see you next time.
See you next time. Bye,
All right,
guys.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Gatatua, any final words?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not feeling the new characters or the next 90 Day Fiancé, so I don't think I'm going to watch it. Maybe I will watch it under
Watch
like
the
an
first
episode.
episode.
I don't, I'll try. It's just that I feel every time I watch something, it just feels too staged and it pisses me off. Like I'm trying to get an experience out of it and it's not. So it's becoming like all the drama is just staged. And I'm here for the drama. If it's staged, then I feel wasted. So I don't know. But I'll try. I'll try and
Please
watch.
do. Please do. Give it at least a shot.
For the Family Chantel, I am out. I recently just did. I think this was my third episode, and I'm out. I can't. They they give me panic attacks and they
That's for
they
health
make my
reasons.
heart race.
Yeah,
They
that's
make
for
my
health
heart
reasons.
race. And when we were talking about jackets, I think like one episode or two episodes ago, if someone saw Karen's jacket, I think her and Tyrese can hook up. She was having, I think, a peach sort of jacket, so they can hook up, and him with a blue suit coat, and her with a peach whatever jacket because it was very oversized. They can hook up and then they do something together, but I cannot. They're a bit too much for me. I need to be sane. No. Mama's Boy doesn't sound like anything I would watch. I think that would just make me break my TV or something. Cause what? From your descriptions, I'm like, what?
Layla would do that.
Yeah, it's like Mama's Boy is like you have to. If you did you watch Smothered?
Did I watch what?
Smothered?
No.
Okay, so if you had watched Smothered, this Mama's Boy would give you life because Smothered was just that bad. But I could see if you hadn't seen Smothered, like this would be kind of a little too much.
Weird.
But it's this show compared to Smothered is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
I think maybe I will try like a few minutes of an episode and then make up my mind. But from your reviews, I'm like, whoa, I don't think my heart is that strong. It's too weak. It might not be able to handle it.
Oh my
All
God.
this drama. No, it's a joke. It's a joke, Debbie.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to tell you to watch the scenes with Kashid and his mom, Layla, but oh Lord, yeah, because they're the best mom-son team. Yeah.
And then all of you are just mean. How did you forget Ariella and Biniam? Those are my favorite people.
We're so sorry. We're so sorry. I mean, probably because when Ariella comes home, I forget Ariella's still on the show. She gets on my nerves. I mean, like, I don't care about you. I just don't.
You know who I do like though? I like Wish. She is salty as hell.
She is.
I love Wish. Well, that and her name, yeah. But yeah, she's salty.
Yeah,
just
very.
like an ex right in front of her parents. She don't care.
No.
Like, wow.
When Ariella asked, like, "Are you gonna let your sister like talk to me that way?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, there you go." I'm like, "There you go. You got your answer."
I think that was what was a bit interesting because the sisters are very saucy and I like it. So I feel everyone feels like Biniam is cheating on Ariella and not being straightforward, but I kind of understand where he's coming from. When you're coming from an African society that we are very patriarchal, so a man is ready and is free to do whatever he needs to do, take care of the family, and doesn't have to give explanations to the wife or the girlfriend or whoever.
Cheating. I don't think he's cheating. I think he's just going to a lot of damn jobs.
Yeah, I feel that's what I'm saying. I think people think he is, or he's a bit he's not being truthful with her, but he's trying to just keep the family together and do jobs. If I was doing odd jobs and I'm doing 5 of them, I would not be able to keep track of all of them. And I would be very pissed if you're trying to make me have to keep track of all my jobs.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And my thing is,
Yes.
Biniam cannot afford to cheat at this point. So I mean, he can't
Yeah.
be getting another woman pregnant. He cannot afford that. So I think he's.
And then also the parents pissed me off. I was open to them the previous episode, then this one I was very pissed off with them because actually the dad was trying to say without while trying to be nice about it. He was just trying to say, I don't think you're good enough for my daughter. I think my daughter needs to marry a lawyer or a doctor or whoever who has a lot of money, and just leave my daughter alone. And I think you should have just come forward and said that instead of trying to sugarcoat it and everything. You can't make someone's effort seem like it's not good enough just because. Then give Biniam a job in your office, pay him as much as you want to pay him, then he's able to take care of your daughter. And he can proudly say, I work in a doctor's office. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I like that.
What dad ever thinks anyone is good enough for their daughter? You know,
But not to that extent, because I come from a family of 3 boys, and I'm the only girl, and I'm the last born, and I understand that.
oof.
But it becomes your father. Like ideally, a father will try to meet you halfway. So you'd find parents gifting the son-in-law, maybe a house or a car, or giving them a job or finding a connection to get them a job because they want this person to take care of their daughter or to ensure the daughter lives how the daughter is supposed to be living or has been kept her entire life. So I feel they were just being mean.
Well, in defense of the father, he did say that he does not travel at all. And what if the mom sugarcoated her impressions of where Ariella was living in her report back to dad after she left the first time? You know, for a person who's at his age in life and does not travel as frequently as the rest of his family does, it could be a bit of a shock to the American system.
True. I agree. Like if you come and you find my situation here is slightly different from what you're used to. But then my point is this, they should try and uplift him or enable him so that his situation becomes okay for him to take care of Ariella and the child. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, and I agree with you. And I think they will. I think they will put their money where their mouth is moving forward. Whether it's like a better residence or just getting them out of there. I think that they will work towards a solution. I really do. So
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Because also Ariella doesn't bring much to the table for her to be too demanding like that.
Well, yeah. What can you say about poor Ariella? She's just a whiny little girl, in my opinion. But I'm giving her the benefit of hormones. You know, after having the baby, I'm still giving her that excuse. So I'm leaving her alone.
Yeah, so that's it for me. For Jenny and Sumit, I think she should go back. This whole experience of eat, pray, love is done. She should just go back home and chill at her daughter's couch and stop disturbing the rest of us.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, and never come back to a future season.
Exactly.
All right, my friend. Thank you. And we'll see you next time, yes?
Yes. Have a lovely morning. It's 5:30 in the morning here.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Well, good morning to you and have a wonderful day.
You have a good, I believe it's at night?
Yes.
Okay, have a lovely night. I'll catch you on the next one.
All right, my dear. Bye.
Bye.
Jamal, where's your pretty face?
Just packing up and getting ready to go. So
okay. All right. Yes. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next show.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
Bye.